guys, this is day 9 of our Christmas in July series, and literally this box can, or this project can be cut almost just from scrap pieces. You know, you're gonna need larger scraps, but you can cut this whole project from scrap just about. And this theme today is setting the table. We are getting ready for our grand finale, and got a couple of days in between this and the grand finale, so lots of things coming your way. You're just going to fold on your score line this piece with the hole in it, okay? And then you have a couple of decorative pieces that are going to go on here. These are place cards for setting your table, and this paper is some of my leftover from last year. I think we did the wine bottle box out of this, which would go great on your tablescape. You can still get this paper at scrapbook.com in individual sheets and in the paper pack. I think the paper, this piece of paper itself with the stockings on the back is called Cheery Stockings. And it was out of, I'm really not sure which one, but I think it's just out of the Cartabella Christmas collection. So take a look over on scrapbook.com if you want this paper, or find something that you can print and cut from Design Space, or you might even find a pattern paper from Cricut that you like, that you could use. And we're just placing these pieces right on and centering those up, giving it a nice pretty little edge. Oh, I forgot to get my bow, my ribbon out. I knew I would forget something. Oh well, I'll grab it here in a sec. And then you have your name tags, of course. You're just going to go in. I left my name in there in case you guys wanted to use the same font. I did have to kern it myself just a little bit. It did most of it, but I had to tweak it. So if you want to go in there and change the font to, or use that one, it's in there for you. I'm just layering up the little name tag. And you could do all of these in advance and leave your name tags off. That way, if you needed to change them, you could use repositionable adhesive and put your tags on once they confirmed or RSVP'd. And then I'm just going to pop that right down center. That looks good, just like that. Super easy, super simple, and for Sue, it is super quick. And then this is just your box lid. You're just going to fold it. Now in the file, you're going to find a separate, just a plain square. And that is if you want to use a solid paper instead of a printed paper for this. You can use the solid paper and then just put maybe a patterned square of something you had a scrap of on there. Because what I'm trying to do is help you guys use up some of the scraps you may have from doing some of your projects. We're just going to put glue on all 4 of those little tabs. Just your basic box lid. And we're going to square those corners up. They still need to be square. It took me longer to find pieces of paper. This one was not a scrap, but I only have 1 sheet of it. I did order me some more. I just love this paper. It's one of my favorites. I had 1 full sheet, and then I had a teeny tiny piece that was maybe big enough to make a tag with. And there we have our lid. And then you're going to fold on all your scores for your box space. And fold your tabs in. And then we're going to go in and, oops, if I can get my hands on it, put some glue on each one of these tabs. And you can make an insert for this, just like we do with the ornament box. Just a little riser if you want to, like we did for the Ho 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 box. Just make it to fit inside this little box. You can do that, or you can just add some little stuffing paper, some, what do you call them, the crinkles, the little cut shreds. I knew I'd think of it in a minute. Can add some shreds in there. I think that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna pause while that's drying, grab my shreds and my ribbon, and I'll be right back. Okay, and I saw my bells while I was getting my shreds, and I was like, maybe. So I just pulled a few out just to see. And then we're gonna put whatever candies that you might want in there, whatever little gift. You're gonna place that on the box, just like so. And then the box is going to sit right, you're just gonna fold it in half and scoot that in halfway. And then you're gonna open that up, spread it apart so it will sit just like that, and you have your placement. Now I'm trying to decide, I had a couple of ribbons, but I don't think I want that one. I think I want this green. So I just wanted the pop of red from the box and the berries on there. I think that's plenty. We're gonna see if this ribbon might be too wide. I may have to go with the more narrow since it's so small. Just gonna finagle my bow here a little bit so I can get a good straight knot on it. Well, I didn't do too well there, but see if we can pull that in a little bit. And let's see. Oh, I like that. That's gonna be fine. Grab my scissors. And I don't want to go too large with that. It's going the same way. There we go. And a couple of glue dots. This is so cute. And I'm just gonna grab that guy right there. I'm gonna place a glue dot on the back of that bow. I'm gonna take it out of its little stand there. And, oh, my glue dot stuck to me. And since it looks like it doesn't want to behave on those tails, I'm just going to make them behave with a glue dot. Always away. There we go. And I'm just going to bring one in extra so it doesn't come off. right up under there. How stinking cute is that? And then if you want to add a bell on there, you can. I think that's too large. But I have these little bitty minis. Oh, that's cute. I think I'll skip it though. I sometimes less is more. I really like just the way it is. So we're just going to place that right up on there. And there you have your place card. Super, super fun. And they're going to love it. Something they can take with them. And don't forget, you can also write in a note anything that you want on this inside piece. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Again, this is for our monthly supporters. And the next file coming up will be for our annual supporters. Okay guys, here we are with our annual supporter file, and I'm doing this one to match our little name card file because I was able to get it out of that same sheet of paper. It's the same piece. I just cut it here, and I cut my other pieces over here, and I still have some scraps. So you're just going to fold on all these score lines, just like so. Just like that little box we did before. It's just a little bit different size with some holes cut in it. So we're just going to fold on all of those scores. And I did it this way because we really don't need a lid for it. It doesn't need to close. You don't need a lid. Don't need anything like that for it. And we're going to glue that up. All the way around. Now, if you want to do a lid for it, you could do that other one, just enlarge it just a little bit. And I missed a score. I missed a whole score line. But you'll want to size it together so that your lid fits. But you really don't need it. You'll see here in just a second. I wanted this to have that more finished look at the top. And again, if you want to cut some panels and cut it out of a solid and add some panels, you can most certainly do that. And then I am going to get some glue dots, just like before. I tied my bow a little bit different. All I did was wrap it around and give it 3 loops, wrapped it around my fingers, and then I used another smaller piece of ribbon to tie a knot around the center. So you could do that as well. You could hot glue these on, guys. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to get a bigger glue dot for this. Go to the side. Let's see. Where did I put those? Cleaned off my desk before I started today's projects after the day 8, and everything's still in the box. So I'm just going to place one of those bigger, stickier glue dots right there. I'm going to stick one on the other side. Doesn't want to turn loose, that liner. And then we're just going to stick that right on the top. I'm just going to go in from underneath. The beauty of not having a top, and just give it a push on each side. And then I'm just going to take my smaller dots and make my ends behave. So pull that through. Trim that. We're going to bring this one. And I'm just kind of making them go the way that I want them to go. That one wanted to flip a little bit. And I kind of like it when it gives it a little bit of a loop in there so that it plays a trick on the eye. Kind of looks like it's not tacked down. Like so. Do it the way that you like. I think I want this one is going this way. I want this one to go this way. Okay, guys, I had to iron this because it was just not ironed. So what I did is I rolled this to the small end, okay? And I measured it, and it was like 1.25 inches when you roll it. And so I went in and I changed the file to 1.5 inch hole to give you some playroom. So you should be fine. This is also an 18-inch napkin, and that's all I could find. So it will fit, but you'll just have to roll it, and then it will work perfectly fine. If it doesn't, I had just a test. I did a relief cut and just cut right up the center here, and then I could slip it right on. So I did a couple of tests on this because I don't have any more paper for that like this to cut another one until my stash gets here. So I will cut a new one once my paper comes in and fix mine, because I did a test over here and cut some away, and then I did the test here, and this one worked best. It still held the napkin. So at 1.5 inches, you shouldn't have to do any cutting to it. It should fit if you roll it up, and you should be able to thread it through. If not, just do a snip at the bottom of your circle and slip it over your napkin, and it will do fine. So I hope you guys enjoy this file. Let's move over and do the freebie for the day. Okay, guys, here we are with day 9 of our Christmas in July, and this will conclude today. We are making a tea light lantern. Instead of candle holders, we're just doing tea lights for the table. And you've got some really thin lines here. Now, I did not cut transparency for the inside of these. I don't think it needs it because you have the crossbars, but if you want them, you can cut a piece of vellum or transparency to go in here to lower your light if you need it. But we're just using little battery operated tea lights, so I felt leaving them open would make them look pretty nice. And you can see I'm just using my scraper tool. You can use your big one or your small one here, and I'm helping bend on that score line right there in between just to give it a good start because it is very thin. Okay, and then we're going to bring this around. Now, this is going to show through the window right here. I did not clip it out of the file, but if you want, you can, all you have to do is just mark it, and I'm just going to use, let's see what I have. If it bothers you that it's going to stick through there, because I wanted it to have some substance to line up. And I used this for a previous file. And, well, now my gel pen doesn't want to write. And I had the back filled in on it, so I didn't really need it. But you can come in here and you can just clip out little V, like so, and we're coming on this side of it, clip that out, and then you can just trim this part back. Just trim it back. That'll give you, still give you something to glue with right there. And should take it out. I need to take a little bit more off of that one. Didn't quite get that angle, did I? So just check it and see. And that should be fine. And then because it's so small, I'm not going to use my tape runner. I'm going to use my art glitter glue. And we're going to come in here and we're going to glue those tabs right there. I'm going to give that glue a second to set. And while that's doing that, I'm going to fold all these bottoms up. Right, and then I'm just going to bring it in. I'm going to fold those back out of my way. And then I'm just going to line this up at the top and down that side. And then I'm just going to pinch it in the middle right there. And you can fold it over. Give it a good rub. And then I am just going to, the two angled tabs go in first. And if you want to put a little bit of glue on those, you can, just to glue those together. Keep it square. And let's see, the back is where that, oh, I can't even see where I glued it now. There it is. So that's going to be the back. So I want to put that tab in first. This is the back. So I'm putting this tab first. And then this tab is the front. So I'm just going to pull that in. And it doesn't meet all the way over. This is just a little temporary craft. So it doesn't have to meet. Okay. Now we're going to take these pieces and you're going to find a score here. And then you've got two tabs that score on each side. So you're going to kind of fold those that way. And we're just going to glue those to the inside here. Okay. So we're just going to put the glue on that tab at the bottom. And we're going to bring that in right to the edge. And we're going to do that on all four sides. Now I have some liquid glass that I get from Close to My Heart. And if you need a Close to My Heart representative, Judy Behrens LaRue in our group, who is a moderator, and also Susan Johnson Betts, who is a supporter on Ko-fi and Patreon. They are both Close to My Heart consultants. Can ask them in the group for their link, and they will get that for you. I'm going to give those a second to dry, as that's why we're working in this order here. And then we'll go back and glue these little tabs. You're just keeping that score line right there on the edge of the lantern. And I'm using art glitter. It dries matte and clear, and probably my poinsettia is going to hide that. And as I was saying, I did put the glossy accents, and it's drying, and I kept running my brush through it so I could get like some, I didn't want it to be solid. I wanted it to have some texture to it so it would catch the light in different ways. But if you want yours smooth, just put it on there and let it self-level itself out. But I let mine self-level, and then I took my paintbrush and I just kept running it through there to kind of make it look like leaf veins. And they may not be dry enough for this, but we'll get them on there. And this last one's going to be a little bit tight as you go in there, but you can get it in there. Okay. Now you're going to come back, and on these tabs, I put a little bit of glue, and we're going to pull those together at an angle. I'm trying to find my front again. This is the back. We're just going to pull those in. Glue them up even. Got some glue on there. Got glue all over my fingers. And bring those in. And if you want to glue them to the inside of one of the flaps, you can, or you can just leave them free. It's totally up to you. I'm just going to put a dab of glue in mine and glue it to the other panel, just so that when I go to put my tea light in, they don't get in my way. I'm just going to press those in. So I'm just gluing those flaps, and then I'm gluing the flap to the side. And then if you want to cut like a strip of paper to make like a lantern handle, we can do that. I'm just going to use this is what I'm doing. Instead of having my machine cut it, I'm just cutting off where it cut out of my paper. And I have a strip. No need to make one to go in there. Okay? And then you can decide on how long you want it to be and where you want it to be. And I'm just going to put some glue on it. Don't want it to come through my window, of course. Just going to glue it in the center of one. And then I'm going to put some glue on this side. I'm going to stick that in. And that looks good to me. I'm going to glue that down. Just like that. Super fun. All right, and if you want to use Nuvo drops and do all that kind of stuff on there to look like little bread, you can do that. See if I can get my glue closed up here. That pen needs to be cleaned. There we go. And I can't put these on because I know that they're not dry yet, but I will take a photo with those on. And then your tea light should drop right down in there. I'm going to turn it on. And then you can drop it right back out by turning it over. And we're just going to drop it right down in the bottom. Now, if you wanted, you could do a taller tea light or anything like that. And I'm just going to place these right on the front. Do I want to use glue? I'm trying to decide if I want to use glue or a glue dot. So when I get those dry and I pop dot them up off the top of these, I can probably reposition if I want to. So I'm just going to temporary and just put a single glue dot on mine. Do I want it on the side? I think I do. That way the handle is showing better. So put one there. Mean a lot. And one there. And they are white on the other side. They're print and cut. If that bothers you, I would mirror one and then flip it. So that's what I think I'm going to do is when I get my those dry, I think I'm just going to go and print 2 more mirrored, and I'll put them in the file. Oops. I'll put them in the file. I'm going to print them because these won't marry up. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 of them. There are 4 in the file so that you can glossy accent and do this. I'm going to go and flip those other 2. I'm going to recut these, and then I'm going to sandwich it to the back so I have color on both sides and we won't see that white. So I'll be back in just a few. Okay, so I did those and I mirrored them, and these are just about completely dry. I am going to just do a very thin coat of art glitter glue since those others are still a little bit damp, just to give me some slide, but I can still remember I put my tape on the bottom. You can see how it's damp in there, and that tape will peel off if it's not completely dry. I'm just gonna pick those up, and then we're just gonna adjust them, bring them together. And that way I have color on both sides, and I am just going to go ahead and glue this right to the box like I want. Give that a stick. So now I have color on the other side. You can color the edges. I didn't think about it. Normally I would. So I'm gonna peel that one off too. Gonna lose some of my paper on the backing, but that's okay. And that's where I had my tape to hold it on, because the glossy accents is like a glue, and the paper's going to absorb the moisture, and then if it's not dry, you can't get your tape up. If it's completely dry, it'll peel up and your tape will come with it. And then you can just stick them together. I'm just gonna marry these up. Get that walked right around that edge. So, and then just a little bit of glue on that. And I think I'll make this one go in the same direction, like so. Super easy, super simple, and super cute. And we're just gonna drop our tea light in there, and if it flips over, we're just gonna use our fingers and flip it back. So how cute is that? And that will dry. Give yours time to dry. I am just trying to finish up this video so that I can release it to you guys in the morning, but super fun. All right, and I will catch you on day 10. Please give a thumbs up, a like, and don't forget to share.